Hello, everyone. Strategy Gaming Dojo here, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. And I've got yet another new game announcement for you. This one is for Panzer Battles Moscow by John Tiller Software. Now, of course, this was announced in just quintessential John Tiller form. There was no announcement put out. There was no video put out, no trailer put out. There's nothing on John Tiller's website. I found out about this game because of an odd post I saw that led me to Wargame Design Studios' website, where there is an after action report from a playtester of the game. The only other information I could get was off of a foreign language or foreign to me as an English speaker website where there is an interview that I cannot read without putting through Google Translate. That being said, what's going on here? What's Panzer Battles Moscow? Well, this is awesome news that they are making another Panzer Battles game. So John Tiller Software, and who is Wargame Design Studio? Why would they know this information, right? Um, John Tiller Software forever, for the last 20, 25, 30 years, has been putting out great war games that had terrible user interface and terrible graphics. They were pretty much unplayable. I mean, even someone like me that likes really complicated kind of spreadsheet sort of games found it very difficult to play those games because you just couldn't even tell what you were moving around or what they were. They're very hard to look at. And so Wargame Design Studio came along several years back and started updating all of the Tiller games with updated graphics, updated user interface. They're writing new manuals to get with the times. They have done an amazing job of bringing all of these games up to what they call their gold standard, of making them look good, make them playable, make them understandable. And that's amazing because John Tiller Software has put out scenarios, games that cover pretty much every conflict that's happened in the last 600 years. You can go back and play the Seven Years' War. You can play Renaissance battles. You can, World War II, World War One, the American Civil, you name it. They've got a game and a bunch of scenarios for it. And when I say a bunch, their usual game has, 150 or 200 scenarios. Okay, so anyway, War Game Design Studio has been doing that. Now there are three sorts of games that Tiller makes. One is called Squad Battles, and Squad Battles is 40 meter hexes. It's a very small, it's squads, squad battles. You get it, right? Squad battles is like 40 meters per hex, 5 minutes every turn. And so you're talking about, down to the individual man, the individual gun. Those games are really cool. They also on the bigger end do something called Panzer Campaigns, and those Panzer Campaigns are massive, just massive games. I can go down here. This is Panzer Campaigns Moscow. Every one of these little dots is a German or Soviet unit in and around Moscow. Some of these are 300, 400 turn games with more units than you could ever count. I mean, they just take you months and years to complete some of these. Those are, 2 hour turns. Usually it's a full kilometer per hex all around Moscow. So that's on the high end. That's the big games or the campaign games. The small end are the squad battles. What is in the middle? In the middle is what they call their Panzer Battle series. And that's what we're seeing here, Panzer Battles Moscow. And if I go down a little further here on the website, you can maybe sort of get a little flavor of what's going on here, but it's 250 meters per hex, okay? So I said the squad battles were like 40 meters per hex. This is at the scale of 250 uh, meters per hex, and you're talking like platoon levels. So each one of these would essentially be a platoon or two or three guns, artillery, and it's that kind of in between section there. So it's not as big as the campaigns, not as small as the squads, right in between. And players have long thought that this was the sweet spot for John Tiller games, that it models out the best, it's the most engaging. Panzer Battles North Africa is maybe his one of his most well-received games. So there's only three others of these. There's Panzer Battles North Africa, there's Panzer Battles Normandy, and there's Panzer Battles Kursk, I want to say. And so you have a Southern Front game, a Normandy game, and a North Africa game, and now they're going to give us a Moscow, all of the action in and around Moscow. You see here kind of the size of the battle we're talking about. This is an after action report of one of the scenarios. Uh, the Soviets are coming across the Volga River here, the frozen Volga. These Germans are protecting certain objectives that have victory points. Now, I have done a full tutorial on the Civil War series of John Tiller games. The mechanics are very, very similar. All of his games kind of have the same kind of mechanics. But I'll tell you, when this comes out, we will be doing a series on this game. Now, you see here, you've got portraits of what the different troops, what the different platoon size, uh, units are. You can also do these as straight NATO symbols if you're more comfortable with that. It is a counter and hex game. It is a turn-based game. I'm looking very, very forward to this. This should be a lot of fun. His Panzer Battle games are very, very good. I may just do a series on Panzer Battles North Africa before this comes out. Now, no word exactly when this is going to come out, but usually once you start seeing this kind of information about one of his games, it won't be too much longer until we get Panzer Battles Moscow. And so I just wanted to alert you to that. And as I said, we may just do a little Tiller Palooza around here, do a couple of his games because I really do enjoy them. And from what I can tell, most of the people here on the channel enjoy these kinds of games as well. And so here we are, another new game. If you can believe it, we're going to be very busy. Anyway, this has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. I'll talk to you next time.